Welcome to the channels. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. Listen, I've had to walk around the stadium, had a couple of beers afterwards as well because I'm fuming, absolutely fuming. I've calmed down a little bit, Dan, but listen, 5 points I think he's cost us now through negative play. I can understand it and I can defend it when you're away from home. I can't defend it today, 7 players defensively out there today. Actually, Manchester City had more attacking options than us in the first half. And the reason I think we got something at the end of it is because Arteta, nothing to do with Arteta, because Pep took everybody off, took all his forwards off. So obviously he's learning from him. I'm so disappointed today, Dan. Listen, before we go into it, give it. If you can say a little bit of credit to the manager, I'm disappointed that we've drawn 1-1 with Manchester City, but I don't know how you feel about that.
I can't give him much credit, other than he brought Eze and Saka on and admitted that he got it wrong. I was in the pub, I was quietly confident. I spoke to ourselves on the preview, quietly confident. Saw the team line up, not going to win. Not going to win.
Not going to win, yeah.
Straight away, not going to win. Might not lose, not going to win. And we were right, weren't we?
Yeah, it's exactly what's happened.
And look, it was a double whammy for me, the team selection, because I didn't expect to see Trossard starting. I certainly didn't expect to see no Eze at all. Now, I wasn't so shocked to see Marino in there, because I told you.
Yeah, we agree with that.
He's going to play Marino, I knew that, right? But when I didn't see any pace on the left-hand side and there was zero outlet there, and I like Trossard, but he's a super sub, isn't he? Yeah? It should have been Martinelli or Eze there if you want some pace and an outlet. They had absolutely zero, and I like Trossard, and he didn't have a shocker, didn't have a great game by any means, but he's on the ball and he's turning and he's backwards, and I think this is straight away the problem with this manager. Madueke, fair play, had a threat in the first half. I know he come off because Saka come on, but he has admitted that he's got it wrong. The problem is, Judge, when you set up like that with defensive players and you go 1-0 down in 9 minutes, one, it's unforgivable. What's even more unforgivable is when you then start bringing players on and they're sitting back doing what we do, because they've done their job 1-0. Now, no one will give them any stick today for doing that, by the way. It's only us that get stick for that. But you can understand why they've done it, because they've got more reason to do it. They're away from home. They're like, tell you what, we'll take 1-0 here. This is the Emirates. If this was up at Etihad, if this was at the Bernabeu, you might not agree with it still, and might go, oh, it's a bit annoying he's gone that.
But you can understand
I'll take it because I kind of understand it. This is our home game. We've got to win this game, mate. We're 5 points behind Liverpool. They're 7 points. This is a brilliant result for them, by the way. Liverpool, lovely job. 5 games in, not even played well. Find ourselves top of the table. Haven't played well, won every game, and these guys are dropping points around us.
Listen, it's criminal what he's done today.
Criminal.
I think at home it's criminal. I can't justify it anyway.
I said Victor Gyökeres will have a bad game today. The minute
he never hardly touched the ball, Dan.
I knew he wouldn't, because he's got nothing around him. Nothing around him.
Isolated.
Even when Eze and Saka come on, yeah, he was trying. I think it's fair to him. He did try his hardest. I'll give him he was running. He's doing what he can. The way we're setting up at the moment, it ain't good for him, and it ain't good for any of the attack players. Eze's going to be coming here. Martinelli's off the bench. Trossard, Saka, Ethan. All these players will be thinking, I'm absolutely buzzing to get out there. Let me on. And we've got 70 minutes and Trossard's still playing. Marino starting again today. Look, I don't mind Marino, Lee. It ain't Marino that's the problem.
It's not his fault.
It's the trio. They don't work together.
There's no creativity. We're at home, and what it seemed to me. But I know you got to shoot. So any more? I'll bring Kenny. I'll bring Kenny into it. Listen, how I look at it today is I got no problem with anybody in the team and all that, but it's the creative. It's sent out a message today. I spoke to some Man City fans coming down here today. They weren't confident. You see that team? I was deflated when I see that team. What do you actually say from that today?
Well, first and foremost, unfortunately, Eze hasn't been able to, like I said, get in tune to the way we play. The fact that the fact that a couple of our substitutes came on, they made a difference in Bilbao. That was an indication to me that Eze wouldn't start, and that Trossard, one of Trossard, Martinelli would start the game, and it had to be Trossard. In terms of Mourinho, at the time, hindsight is 2020, but he was playing well. That midfield was very good for us up to a point in Bilbao, and it was excellent for us against Nottingham Forest. So they kind of played their way in. However, when you look at Mikel Arteta and you look at our team, you can celebrate the signings of Gyökeres. You can celebrate the signings of all the attacking players, Eze included. But when the celebrations are over, and when you put the plates away, you begin to realise who your manager is, and it's this man. We can have all the attacking options we have, but as long as this man has still got this sort of like handbrake on handbrake off. He's still got these scars from the thrashes Man City gave us. He's still got these scars from 22-23 where basically we can't.
We beat them 5-1 last week.
It means nothing. It means
I know,
nothing.
it's unbelievable.
It means nothing. We beat them what?
And they were a better team last season than what they are now.
It doesn't matter to this manager. This manager's got a way of playing. He hasn't got over to 22-23 season, and that's why we play how we play, at home and away. If we play a big team, doesn't matter. I'm going
to stop you there.
Yeah.
We've played two big teams,
Yeah.
Liverpool and
both negative.
And both negative.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
What tells you that our manager will never let the handbrake off, despite the fact he's got all the personnel. That's what it says. He has nothing to do. And then you've got him here. He's one of the biggest Arteta fans.
No, well, I don't think he will be.
I'm not having a go because I love Julian. Me and Julian get on really well. But the fact is, sometimes Julian, you got to look at the game, and you got to say, hang on here, mate, come on.
Well, hold on. Let's get Julian in here quickly. Just quickly point.
Yes, what
was your thoughts on that team selection today?
Negative.
There you go.
Negative. But
Hello.
But
Hallelujah.
no, it's negative. You cannot say it wasn't a negative team selection. But does negative mean bad if at the end of it you win the game? Because ultimately,
we haven't, have we?
No. But the most important thing about being a football fan, what do we want the most? We want the result. Do we really care how do we get that result?
But sometimes, you've got to remember one thing. This is a league campaign. And we've seen over the years that if to win this league, there's a certain style of play you've got to play. Yeah, you can play this style of play in a horse when it's the odd game. You have about 6 games out of 38, which is horses for courses. You can't play horses for courses football for every game this season. That's what he does. It's everything is horses for courses.
Listen,
I'm not sure what you mean by horses for
You
courses.
know what I mean by horses for
I don't.
courses.
That's why I asked.
All right, the team selection today. If you've got Marino in the midfield three alongside Subramani and Rice, that's also of courses because in that position you've got a bit of creativity with Odegaard, you've got creativity with Wanyeri, and you've got creativity with Eze, yet he's still going with Marino because we're playing Man City. That's also of courses.
What I would say today is I can understand it a little bit when you're away to Liverpool, even whether you think it's not all right or away to Bilbao. We're at home today, Julian. You know what I mean? You've got to be a bit more. You've got to be a little bit more offensive. Surely you can see that today.
Yes, I would have preferred that. But one thing I'll give him credit for, in fact, I'll give him more than one thing credit, is he changed it. He saw what we saw.
He did change it. And
he
did change it.
He changed it. Hang on here.
So he admitted he was wrong.
Yeah, but hang on here.
Well, it was obvious because when the game starts, then you can see how it plays out. You don't know. None of us got a time sheet. You know exactly how City's going to play.
Well, I knew how it was going to go today. I absolutely knew how it was going to go
And
today.
occasionally you get it right, and you did get it right.
Well, I'll tell you what,
But you don't
every
always get it
single
right.
time he plays that midfield, what does this say? We're at home. Look at that ground. Right? 7 players plus a goalkeeper defensively. They had more attacking options and they're really away. So that is not right, Jim. Please say that is not right.
But the other thing about it is you're saying Marino is a completely negative player.
I'm not saying he's negative. He's defensive. He's a defensive player.
He scores quite a lot of goals.
How many from up front?
Yeah. Right, but the fact is that
I don't know how you can defend Arteta's team selection today. I really don't.
In hindsight, then he got it wrong. I'm saying that.
Okay.
That's what
he's got. Julian said he's got it wrong. I'm happy with that. He's got it wrong.
It's not a punch of Judy. It's not a punch of Judy thing. You know what I mean? It's basically like having a debate. But the fact is, Madueke was the only player to get him behind Man City.
Do you think he was a little bit harsh to be taken off today?
I thought it was a disgrace, really. When you kept Trossard on the pitch, but you take off Madueke. Why couldn't you just play Saka on the right hand side and play Madueke down the left? What was the problem?
Go on, him.
Because every time Madueke's played down the left, he hasn't performed in the same way. His position, where you get the best.
Did you think he deserved it taken off? Because Saka didn't do no different to him.
Saka, no, I think Saka did. I think Saka.
What did he do?
I think
Tell me what he did.
The thing is with Saka is you've got to look at what he does over the course of
Now,
seasons.
what did he do today? What did he do today in the 45
What
minutes?
Makaweki didn't do. Makaweki?
Yeah.
Makaweki.
Today, he offered something a bit different. He did offer something
What
a
do
bit
you mean?
different.
He got locked off. He got locked off today.
He had
Whilst
two
the player
players
that played in the
on him.
45 minutes. Well, Manueke had 2 players on him, but he still stretched them. He still put crosses in where Gyökeres wasn't on the end of them. And Marino, the attacking option.
All right, well, we're having arguments here.
No, we're having a massive debate.
It's about no, that's what you do on your other channel on TV.
Listen. One thing we're finished.
We're not
Listen,
calling time here.
one thing there. Gyökeres today very, very quiet again. Like, we're not playing to his strengths. You have to say that as well. I watched
He's
the game
Arsenal,
today.
Lee, let me tell you something now. Eze and Gyökeres, they've signed for Arsenal. This is Mikel's team. They've got to be out. Mikel will not change for them, so they've got to get up to speed or they don't play. I'm being harsh, but that's the thing.
Right.
Lee, let me finish. Now, I might be the guy. I know I sound like the guy that would tell your kids that Father Christmas don't exist and the Tooth Fairy doesn't exist.
He does. So the kids out there, he does.
These are facts. You know Mikel just as well as I do.
Yeah.
And I'll repeat, if Eze and Gyökeres want to play, they need to get up to speed. He's not going to move the wheel tactically.
Right, one positive before we go. Martinelli's goal. Come on. It was a great goal. Come on, Kenny. It was a great goal. Great finish.
I'm not a Martinelli fan, don't you?
I mean, don't you come to football for moments like what you saw tonight today with Martinelli?
Yeah, snatching a draw against.
No. See, it was, but it's still 2 points drop, Julian. It's 5 now away from Liverpool.
No. At the end of the game, we had no points. Martinelli burst through the midfield.
Gets one.
And we get one. And I have to give discredit to City on that one, because the way City played the whole game, it was a low block. They frustrated us. They did really well. The one moment they push up, they tried to play us offside with one of the fastest players on the pitch, nice and fresh.
Yeah,
and I was really surprised.
Well,
the finish was lovely, and for me, that was I've come away, because you always remember the end of anything, like a good film, you know, good everything. It's how it ends. It's the climax. Today's climax.
How would you felt if that goal got disallowed and VAR said offside? So it
was a mile onside. It was a mile onside.
Would we have a different interview with Lee?
No, it was a mile onside.
Of course, but it's about moments. And as Arsene Wenger said, it was one of my favourite. It's one of my favourite quotes. His life is about millimetres, and I can relate to that.
Right, we're going to leave it there. Listen, from my point of view, listen, it's inches for me. But listen, I will say this. I think at the end of the day, listen, there are positives. Arsenal got a point at the end of the day, but it was the way they set up. I think it weren't good enough. Not at home. I don't want to see my manager set up. No, you can't. The reason we're second is because of those sort of tactics.
Some people think that's
listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this now. If you want, Mikel Arteta's done a fantastic job here to get us to second, get us in competing, and we're all that. But at the end of the day, if you want to get over the line, I'm afraid you have to be a little bit braver, and you have to make, particularly home. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that like that. Thanks for watching. We're out of here, and the fight will start behind the bike sheds. See you later on, night.